Now, Navi Pillay's career illustrates several key aspects of the work of international judges, and I think it particularly illustrates aspects that I think respond in important ways to some of the critiques that have been made of international courts and tribunals. Because, in fact, while there are some institutional weaknesses on these courts, and Judge Schwebel has spoken about them as well as other people, the work of the judges themselves, the men and women who are working on this, has really served to strengthen these institutions from the inside and really protect them from some of the worst kinds of potential threats to their effectiveness and their integrity. So the first of these themes is that biography matters. The biography of judges matters. Navi Pillay's work as a judge was fueled by her childhood experiences under apartheid. Now, of course, it's a challenge for any judge to balance between the passion that one brings as a result of biography and being faithful to the law and objective about the facts before one. But I think it's clear that the passion that judges bring and the experience that they bring is a source of strength. And the source of strength that the 215 judges that Cesare mentioned, the wealth of experience that they have has contributed to a kind of complementary strength on these courts that has worked against the institutional weaknesses. The second main theme is that there is an emerging global judicial community that has allowed these judges to work in very powerful collective ways. And Cesare talked about the enormous diversity of these courts, and some people looking from the outside have said judges from 86 different countries, from all of these different legal systems, with all of these different backgrounds and so forth, how is there going to be any stability and predictability in the international legal system? Is this really going to be law and justice in any predictable way, the way it is within in the best case scenario within national court systems? The fact is that the apparent diversity of all these judges masks a lot of common experiences and mindsets. Navi Pillay went to Harvard. It turns out that a lot of international judges have spent time in the same small number of major universities in the world, where they've gotten to know each other as well as adopting a kind of common mindset so that when they enter these courts, there is a kind of community of knowledge that is much more important than the apparent diversity of that community. And it adds a kind of strength to the collective process and allows the blend of professional experiences, people who have been judges, people who have been academics, people who have been civil servants, to bring different strengths. Because after all, these are courts operating in a kind of unknown world to a large extent, where you need international professors who can help move the law to the next stage. You need judges who have the practical experience to know how to run a courtroom, especially for the criminal courts. And you need civil servants who have some kind of awareness of that larger political context, because international courts can only succeed with the cooperation of governments. There's no, firm legal order that requires states to comply. It takes a certain kind of voluntary regime, and if you don't have judges sensitive to what will work and what will assure and help states feel confident in their work, you're unlikely to succeed. The third theme is that these judges have done a great deal to advance the law in exciting and unpredictable ways, but done so within a very kind of cautious and traditional framework. And in the case, Navi Pillay's contribution to this was that she was one of the judges who really helped prod the prosecutors and also worked collectively with her fellow judges to help bring charges of to ensure the legal principle of rape as a war crime. Rape had been previously, of course, practiced, attacked under criminal jurisdictions all over the world, but never prosecuted as a war crime at the international level. And Judge Pillay helped advance that law in her work. And finally, Judge Pillay's work really highlights the fragility of the institutions that international judges work on. She tells stories about her own work as president, where in Arusha, just literally getting the courtroom set, the windows fixed, the appropriate translation facilities in place was a constant challenge, so that she and other judges have literally had to be builders of their institutions, not only in the legal sense, but in the sense of
material sense.
In the very material sense as well. And she's had to work to kind of create the structures also to protect the courts from the human vulnerabilities of judges themselves. So she's been instrumental, for example, in developing a code of ethics for the new International Criminal Court, which is built on the experiences of, for better and for worse, of the ad hoc tribunals beforehand. Well, I think some lesson from Judge Pillay's life and work is that the courts that international judges are working on are still young. They're imperfect. They have problems that we'd be happy to talk about. But that the men and women who are engaged in building them have a kind of collective strength that has brought those courts a long way. And if governments and citizens around the world place greater faith in the work of these judges as individuals, I think we'll see the institutions develop more strongly in the future.